The weather outside is still frightful, but the idea of staying inside to watch your favorite anime all day is delightful. And if you've got nothing better to do right now and are looking to get in on some new anime or catch up on some returning shows, boy do I have some recommendations for you. So, let's not waste any more time and get into it, starting with the new heavy hitters. Blue Lock is the reverse Haikyuu soccer anime I never knew I needed, and man was it good. We begin by following our main protagonist Isagi as his team just missed out on their chance to go to nationals after a split-second decision made by Isagi cost them the game. We then watch as he gets invited to and enters Blue Lock. This controversial soccer project, led by the Fire Force-looking Ego Jinpachi, pits the best 300 strikers in all of Japan in a battle royale type tournament with absolutely everything on the line. Now he must team up with 10 other egotists as the second lowest rated player in the worst building in Blue Lock, and put his ethics aside to crush the dreams of 299 other competitors to become the world's greatest striker on the Japanese national soccer team. Have you ever wondered what a completely broke and destitute teenage boy would do if he died and then was revived by his best friend / chainsaw devil, giving him the power to make every lumberjack within a 1,000-mile radius quake in fear of losing their job? Well, that question and more are answered in Chainsaw Man. This highly praised and rated show stands to flip the typical shonen style on its head, giving us a somewhat standard story but with an incredibly weird and interesting cast of characters that brings some fresh life into the genre. I just uploaded a video discussing Chainsaw Man, so feel free to check that out for more information on the show. But just know, if you love insane characters, just the right amount of violence and gore, good CG, and the most relatable shonen protagonist we've seen yet, then Chainsaw Man is definitely worth checking out. My first introduction to the world of Gundam, if you don't count Gurren Lagann, was The Witch from Mercury, and it really makes me wonder why I haven't watched any Gundam shows up till now. It's one of those rare shows that has got me tearing up on the first episode over characters I just met, and I could almost make a whole video by itself on just the animation alone. Man, those shiny robots just make me think maybe that girl who was into amusement park rides wasn't so crazy after all.
I love him as a mate. I love the roundness of his counterweights at the top. I love him for the narrowness of his jibs.
I won't talk too much about the story since I want to avoid spoilers as much as possible, but just know that this show is not afraid to get dark. Do me a favor and watch the prologue episode, and you'll know right then and there if this show's for you. The main character selected did take a bit to grow on me since I've never been super crazy for the overly introverted characters, but I really love the stark contrast between her personality in and out of the Gundam, going from a nervous wreck to a fearless pilot when she enters Ariel. Now, of course, I can't talk about the big hitters this season without talking about Bocchi the Rock. What may not be my personal favorite this season is still a show very much worth the hype. We've got our typical cute girls doing cute girl things, but this time with a rock band with your very own guitarist in a box. Bocchi is your typical introverted girl just looking for a way to get people to talk to her. She picks up guitar in the hopes of making new friends, but all she ends up with instead is a crummy old YouTube channel with 30,000 subscribers. And who wants that, am I right? After deciding to wear her guitar to school one day as a final gambit to make new friends, she again spends the day alone. That is, until she meets a young girl named Nijika on her way home, who convinces Bocchi to join her band so that the journey of the Kesoku Band and Bocchi the Rock may begin.
それでバンドがずっと続いて、これからもみんなといろんな写真撮っていけたらいいな。
Okay, and now let's look at some of the returning greats this year. Starting off with my personal favorite anime of all time, yes, I know I'm a normie, My Hero Academia has come back with its 6th season. And I have never been more stressed or worried while watching an anime. If you're new to the world of My Hero Academia, the show follows Izuku Midoriya, a child born without superpowers in a world where more than 80% of the population has them. Through a chance encounter with the #1 hero, All Might, he is chosen to be the successor for the world's greatest power, One for All. He must now gain the strength necessary to wield this immense power and battle the forces of evil that seek to turn the world to chaos. Okay, now that you have the main plot, it's time to skip ahead to avoid spoilers. Oh boy, are things not looking good. Almost every available hero in Japan has gathered to stop the combination of the League of Villains and the Liberation Force, and it really looks like that isn't going to cut it. Shigaraki has awakened with the most terrifying power we have seen yet, and no hesitation in using it to its fullest. Everyone is in danger at this point, and if One for All does fall into the hands of Shigaraki, then all hope will truly be lost. Okay, well, now time to pick us back up with some super wholesome anime, as Spy Family is back with the second half of its first season. It's everything you could want from the show and more. More Anya being Anya and doing Anya things, more Lloyd and Yor being the best, not actually a couple of the season, and we finally get to meet the newest addition to the family in the dog, whose name I will not spoil because it's cute the way that Anya comes up with it. This show truly feels like one of those anime you could just watch forever and never get bored. The family just has this amazing chemistry, and even more so with their newest member. So come on back over and start watching the second half of the season for more of what made the show such a smash hit in the first half.
La 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 la. Becky. La 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 la. La la la. La 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 la. La la la.
To Your Eternity is back with season 2 and headed in a direction I really didn't expect the show to take. It's hard to talk about it without any spoilers, so if you want absolutely zero knowledge going in, go ahead and skip to the next entry. We join up with Fushi nearly 40 years after the events of the first season, isolated and alone on a beach, and content to stay that way. After finding out the Knockers are attacking places and people whether Fushi is there or not, he decides it's time to move again and goes in search of powerful allies that can aid him in his battle against the Knockers. He meets with and eventually ends up staying with the Guardians, a group created by Hayase to watch over and protect Fushi with the side objective of having one of the descendants bear Fushi's offspring. This stay ends up spanning over several generations and hundreds of years until Fushi is captured by Tasty Peach Euralis, no I'm not kidding, and is now wanted by 3 opposing factions: the Guardians, the Kingdom of Euralis, and the Church of Bennett. Between the 3 factions and the strange new behavior of the Knockers, Fushi must decide whether to keep fighting or give in to despair and give his body back to the Knockers, being forced to start again from zero. And now, to finish off the list, let's go over a few shows I don't have a ton to say about but are still definitely worth watching. The conclusion of Mob Psycho 100 is out now, and I would have mentioned it above, but I'm behind on my shows and I haven't started watching it yet. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro Season 2 is out, and I am ready to be teased by Nagatoro once again. There were plenty of decently passable isekai out recently, like Black Summoner and Beast Tamer to fill your isekai needs, and a very unexpectedly good rom-com in More Than a Married Couple But Not Lovers kept me thoroughly entertained and picked me up after watching the quintessential quintuplets movie. I will not say who won, I will just say that my favorite girl did not. They just released the final part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean, but I can't help but feel that Netflix has killed a lot of the hype with the breakup of its season. Revenger, Tomo-chan is a Girl, and the Ice Guy and his cool female colleague all released their first episodes recently and have all been hyped up to be pretty good shows worth checking out. Then, last but not least, the forever slept on and underappreciated Bungo Stray Dogs is back with its 4th season, and I really recommend you go give it a shot. And that right there is a pretty strong list of shows both returning and new that you can watch and binge at your leisure. And if you've already seen them all and that isn't enough for you, then the only suggestion I have left is to go touch grass.
何ですかこれは天使ですか
今日は勘弁してやるか。
そうしましょう